Archaeologically speaking, we have temple inscriptions. We find historical events being inscribed on stone, and every temple almost in India is rich with such inscriptions. And it is because of these inscriptions historians could make out Indian past. In no archaeological inscription we find a reference to a foreign community traveling from the Middle East, entering India through Khyber Pass, getting settled and becoming Brahmins. Because temple inscriptions have recorded the minutest detail, even the smallest incident has been recorded. Archaeologically, there is no sanction for such a migration. Now, the next point is, UNESCO has recently declared that the Rig Veda is the most ancient human literature. In the human history, if at all there is one literature which can lay claim to be the most ancient, it is the Rig Vedas. How about the history of German? What is the age of German language? German language, its history is definitely junior chronologically to that of Sanskrit. When Rig Veda can be the most ancient language, how do you say that German became Sanskrit? It is not chronologically possible. Anachronism it is. So, Sanskrit being approved by world authorities of history as the most ancient language cannot be the child of German. German could not have given birth to Sanskrit at all. Then, coming to the artistic side, we have known about Carnatic music and Bharatanatyam. These two arts are very much cherished and nourished by Indian Brahmins. All Brahmins like Carnatic music and Bharatanatyam. But these two arts are not found in Germany. Perhaps nowadays there are German audience for Carnatic music and Bharatanatyam, or within the past 50 years there might be some Germans who have picked up these two arts. But down the ages, can Germany prove that Carnatic music and Bharatanatyam were in Germany hundreds of years back? Can Germany or Iran or any Middle East country prove that Carnatic music and Bharatanatyam were born there and not in India? India has a clean history recorded in its diary, how Carnatic music was born, how Bharatanatyam was born, who wrote which kirtana, who gave music to what song. We say that there was one rishi called Bharata Rishi. It was he who invented Bharatanatyam. It has been named after him as Bharatanatyam. These two arts are living in India from time immemorial. It cannot be dated at all. It doesn't come within the premise of history. Then, another point number 29. For Buddhists and Jains, India is a sacred land. Because these two religions were born in India. Lord Buddha was born in India, Mahavir was born in India. So any Buddhist or any Jain living outside India will have his aspiration as a final ambition to visit India at least once, because for him India is a sacred land. Now, if that is so, my question is this: if Indian Brahmins had come from Germany, for Indian Brahmins, Germany must be a sacred land. Every Indian Brahmin should aspire to go to Germany at least once in his life, because it is from there his ancestors came. Germany should be his sacred land. But which Brahmin in India says that? Can you prove that a Brahmin in India holds Germany as his sacred land, as a Buddhist thinks of India? No, definitely not. Talk about cow which gives us milk. It is a sacred animal for Hindus, particularly for Indian Brahmins. Killing a cow slaughter is a cruel sin. But for Germans, beef eating is a very tasty habit. They eat beef. They will give an account as how beef is rich in protein, how it is medically laudable. from the angle of food value. But for a Brahmin, eating cow's flesh is a sin. Compare these two attitudes. How can these two go together? Then talk about the sculpture, Indian sculpture. Indian sculpture and the German sculpture. They might have some basic resemblances. But eventually, Indian sculpture is based on Samudrika Shastra, that is phrenology. We have our own Shastra which says that an Indian face, an Indian Brahmin or an Indian king must look like this. The forehead must be so many inches broad, the nose must be so long. Like that we have inscriptions and instructions embellished on copper plates. Germans don't have any such thing. Then Indians look upon all books, all written articles as a manifestation of Goddess Saraswati or Lord Hayagriva. If an Indian happens to walk over a book or trod on a book, he will immediately touch it and say his respect and apology for doing so. For him, every book is trustworthy, worship-worthy. He respects a pen, he respects a pencil. All study materials are worship-worthy for him. Does a German think like that? No. Then, I come to a practical point. Point number 33. You see, in India, Brahmins live in several states. In Tamil Nadu, there are Tamil Brahmins. In Andhra Pradesh, there are Telugu Brahmins. In Karnataka, there are Canarese Brahmins. In Kerala, there are Malayalam Brahmins. In Kashmir, there are Kashmiri Brahmins. Supposing these Brahmins, by force of fate, happen to live in other states, say a Tamil Brahmin happens to live in Maharashtra, what he does is he goes there and picks up Hindi. He learns Hindi and uses it for public contact. When he goes to a shop, he will talk in Hindi. To an auto rickshaw fellow, he will talk in Hindi. While traveling in a bus, he will talk in Hindi. But while returning back home, at home he speaks only his mother tongue, namely Tamil. The same way a Telugu Brahmin, if he gets settled in Karnataka, he will learn Canarese and talk Canarese outside and Telugu at home, because that is his mother tongue. So following the same line of argument, my question is, if these Indian Brahmins had come from Germany, their mother tongue should be German. So in India, while talking to others, they must talk in local languages, and at home they must talk in German. Which Brahmin talks in German? Can you show me a single Brahmin who talks in the German language to his wife and children? Is there any Brahmin who claims German as his mother tongue? No. Practically no. Then, the last point I would like to say is this. Is there any sound resemblance between the two words? One is Brahmin, the other word is German. Pronounce these two words. Is there any sound resemblance? No. Phonetically, there is no resemblance at all. How do you say that the word German gave birth to Sanskrit? These two words are miles apart. So, for these reasons, I would like to say that the doctrine of Aryan migration, which tries to prove that a particular race which came from the Middle East it came to be recognized as the Indian Brahmin community. This doctrine is incorrect, baseless, it is a myth, it has no proof. Thank you.